Podcast City Network.
Listener discretion is advised.
It is time to play.
You're listening to The Everett Lee Show.
Let's go!
A shot of entertainment to the head.
No doubt!
Sit back, relax,
Put your drinks up!
and enjoy the entertainment.
Okay!
Now we come to the payoff.
Let's rock!
Welcome, everyone, to the Everett Lee Show podcast, Slammin Thursday edition, right here on Facebook.com/TheEverettLee. Doing a little bit different things tonight here. As always, Slammin Thursday edition with Everett Lee and my co-host, the Chris Rose. How you doing tonight, Chris?
Man, about 30 minutes ago, I was at the gym. I got a nice pump in. As you know, I got 2 shows this weekend at KZW, WCCW. Man, the gym makes me feel good, and all in all, man, I'm ready for tonight, Slammin Thursday with my man Everett Lee. But it's been a good day. It's been a good week, but cold up here. I know it's probably not as cold down there in Florida, but it's pretty cold up here. But all in all, pretty good week. Very blessed, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's been a good week, and it has. The temperatures dropped some. They have. The temperatures definitely dropped some, but it's nothing like it is up there. I know I was talking this past Wednesday with the former owner of KZW, Mr. Hurricane J.J. McGuire. And he mentioned the temperatures were low, man. I mean, they were just, yeah, they were up there. They were definitely up there.
Were. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It was 50 degrees the other morning. And man, I couldn't, I feel like my knees and my whole body just couldn't walk in it. I mean, it was hard to move because it went from 60 degrees to 15 degrees, just like that.
Oh, I can believe
it. A mess. So
yeah, I can believe it because you're right up there in Kentucky, man. It gets cold. It does. It does. I lived up there at one point, and I know how cold it gets, and up in Ohio, and snow and everything, but right there in the middle of America right there, yeah, it gets cold. It certainly does.
yeah, Ohio's covered in snow right now, I'd say.
Yeah.
Way farther up north.
Yeah, I'd have to say definitely they're, pretty much, yeah, they're covered in snow. They pretty much are covered in snow, though. But at least tonight we're here in our houses where it's warm and kicking back with a little bit of...
Drinking a little bit of the bubbly.
So that kind of helps right there, huh?
That's a bit of the show here the past couple of weeks is drinking a little bit of the bubbly.
Of course, man.
Because this is every show. Mm-hmm. I'm drinking some Miller Lite tonight. Thoroughly enjoying it. Going to enjoy the rest of my night as well. Yeah, it's going to be a good night, man.
Yeah, it definitely is. It definitely is. And it's actually it's been a pretty good week, actually. I mean, heck, I celebrated Everett Lee Show celebrated its 150 episode. Like I mentioned, I had Mr. Hurricane J.J. McGuire on. I mean, come on. Had to have some star power there,
Yeah, J.J. Power's some star power. I hate that he got out of KGW like he did, but, people move on. We'll do different things every day. I wish him the best of luck in the near future. Hopefully he comes back one day.
Yeah.
Best wishes to JJ. I haven't spoke to him since he left, but I hope he's doing very well.
I do too. I hope. I definitely hope he's doing well. And of course, I mean, he talked about going to conventions, making appearances, and just doing all that right there. I mean, he's been busy. He's promoting his new book. He's got that out, and it's doing really well, man. It is doing amazing on the reviews on Amazon. If you go to Amazon.com and look up My Life in Heaventown, JJ McGuire, you'll see how great and awesome how that book is. And the reviews, man. People give it 5 stars, and they've basically just it's amazing. It's amazing with the feedback and everything and stuff. He's very fortunate and humble about it. And I enjoyed bringing him back on. I've been wanting to get him back on for a while for the 150th episode. I've been wanting to get him back on, and I finally got him back on, and it was just a great show, man. A lot of people tuned in. I want to thank everyone that tuned in and listened to what the true master of wrestling ring music had to say. I was going to have that uploaded tonight up on YouTube, and then by tomorrow I was going to have that out on audio download, but things don't go as planned tonight with me running right straight out after work, heading straight over to the hospital across the street, and with my 2-year-old with a double ear infection. So she is not doing too well, though, but my night's going to be busy talking about wrestling, and then afterwards tonight, I'm going to be up and down taking care of her. And I think me and my wife's going to tag team. We'll tag each other in when we can't take it anymore. We'll do some hot tag. And
man, I hope your daughter gets better, brother. I hope she does. Those ear infections are bad. They're bad, man.
Yeah, they are. And especially
all is well. I hope everything's good.
Yeah, I definitely do too. So pretty much she'll be fine. I hope so, and I know she will. She's tough, just like her old man. And speaking of being tough, man, let's talk about AEW this past weekend. Full Gear. Did John Moxley and Kenny Omega, man, that was crazy, wasn't it?
I was cringing watching that match, man. And normally I would not. I don't like those type of matches. I mean, I like hardcore matches, but not that hardcore. But given the opponents in the match and given their background and their, their working skills and everything, and they had to follow the AEW World Heavyweight Championship match, Jericho and Cody. It definitely did. The hardest part watching the Omega and Moxley match, I mean, you'd probably think it was the suplex into the barbed wires, the broom with the barbed wires, him breaking it across his back, but the Phoenix Splash onto the exposed 2x4s or wood. Man, I've set up many wrestling rings, and that wood is not, it's not soft.
No.
And, man, it hurt so bad. I mean, that was the bump that I cringed on the worst.
Yeah.
'Cause, I won't do that shit. Yeah. That's a 5-star match in my book. But both guys worked their ass off in it. I like John Moxley coming through the crowd like he used to. In there, I thought that was cool. Man, the match was insane.
Yeah.
And what did you think of the stage? It was like the old Clash of the Champions stage with the ramp coming down
It was.
to the ring.
I love that.
I thought that was cool.
I did too.
Different, and I'm glad they.
Yeah, I'm definitely happy they brought that back there, because that reminded me right there of the old classic stage right there with the old Clash of the Champions straight right out there to the ring, man. I love that.
The first match that came to mind when I saw that stage was Sting and Cactus Jack.
Yes. I know which one you're talking about.
That one, because of the stage and the old WCW. I liked that a lot, man. That was really cool. It was a good pay-per-view.
Yes.
But, man, if you're going to talk about that Moxley and Omega match, man, how can those guys top that if they ever have a match again?
Yeah.
Everything. It was just insane. I love the story, bringing back the broken glass on it. That was on the debut episode when he put Kenny Omega through the glass.
Mm-hmm.
Then then he cleaned up the glass. He's the cleaner. Put it in a little bag and chopped it all up and brought it out in the match. And man, it was crazy. Every bit of it.
Was.
And, you don't see mouse traps. They had mouse traps on this little platform, and it was just, they pulled out all the stops, man, and it was hard for me to watch it. And judging by the crowd, looking at their reaction, it was hard for them to watch it too.
Yes.
One of the craziest matches I've seen in a long time. I normally don't like them as much, but given the two athletes in the match, it made sense and it had a story. I like matches like that have a story behind them. You know, you have matches that lead up to the blow-off, and this is definitely the blow-off. What did you think of the match? I mean, I loved it.
I did. And just like that. Just like that right there. Just, it had a good, yeah. It basically had a really good story to it. It did. It had a really good story to it. And the match, it was great. It was great. I loved it. I loved how and where they went with it, man. It was a good story, good build. It definitely was. Oh, there we go. We were knocked offline just for a second, and now we're back on. I don't know what Facebook's doing, but we're back on. So, had me worried there for a minute. The stream caught off for a couple milliseconds, but we're back, and it wasn't too much of a thing. But, yeah, great story. I mean, they pulled out all the stops, and it was a grudge match. And they wanted to hurt each other, and they did hurt each other. A lot of people said they went a little too far with this match. Do you agree they went too far? Because I actually, at points, yeah, I was like you, cringing, but I didn't think they went too far.
No, I wouldn't say they went too far, but I guess what the fans are trying to say is that you just don't see a match like that in everyday life. I mean, you don't see a match like that a lot, and it was different for them.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
You know, I think that's what they're trying to say because, you know, I didn't expect it to be like that. And I thought at one point John Moxley I thought he got his throat or the back of his neck cut open at one point. I mean, it was a very dangerous match, but, I mean, it's two professionals that know what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like it when in other places when it's not professionals and you see them with bleeding arteries and going to the hospital. But these guys were safe even though it was a chaotic match.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed it. Yeah, a lot of fans, I mean, they're just not used to this, man. They're not, I mean, they were so used to the WWE narrative with hardcore matches, but they wasn't really hardcore matches. I mean, this was just an insane match that was out of the norm, and I give it 5+ stars. It was phenomenal.
It was. Those unsanctioned matches are usually really good. A lights out match, unsanctioned matches are just great. They definitely are. What think about Cody not capturing the AEW World Championship? That match was good with Chris Jericho. They went it went back and forth with some really good action in the ring. They had some really good spots, some false finishes that made the crowd and those watching at home was right behind Cody. You wanted to see Cody capture that title. He was the underdog going into this. And MJF by ringside, I knew he was going to play a factor into it. Jake Hager, he was going to play a factor into it, which they did. They both played a part in this match here, but what got me was the fact that MJF threw in that towel for Cody, and that was pretty much it. And then MJF turns on Cody, and the crowd hates him again. They loved MJF, they hated him, then they loved him, and then he has the crowd hating him again. What are your thoughts on that match there with Cody and Chris Jericho?
Yeah, man, it was fantastic. Another 5-star match. Both guys went back and forth, like you said. False finishes. I mean, the bump Cody took on the stage was insane. Going head first into man, it was just an all-around battle. Pulled out all the stops. The judges, I love the stare down with Malenko and Jericho with the history they've had in WCW in the past.
Oh, yeah.
I enjoyed the whole match. A++ match. And I like the finish. He had him in the walls of Jericho, threw in the towel. You don't see that very often.
You don't.
And with Cody having all these managers in the past in AEW, no one ever threw the towel in but MJF. And some say that was kind of a predictable heel turn. But I enjoyed it because everybody loves MJF as the asshole heel. And I can't wait to see what they do in the near future with this. But overall, a great match. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed throwing in the towel. I thought that was different. And I don't think that hurts Cody's chances of going after the title in the near future because he technically didn't lose. The towel got thrown in.
Yeah, that's true.
I think that plays a factor into that. I can't explain why, but I just think that plays a factor into his championship title opportunities in the near future. Yeah, I love the match, dude. It was great. I love Jericho. I wasn't for Cody because I love Jericho, but the entrance Cody Rhodes had and the fans was on his side, man. It was an emotional night. It was great.
Yes,
I loved it.
Yes, it definitely was an emotional. It was an emotional night right there. I mean, just look what happened to Cody. You basically, I mean, you were pulling for the underdog, and he didn't win it though. But yeah, I believe that in the future something will come up to where, yeah, he'll go after the title again. He's going to go after the title because MJF threw in the towel, and he's going to feud with MJF, and it's going to lead to him. Yeah, like you said, he didn't tap out, he didn't get pinned, so therefore the towel was thrown in, and he will have a chance at the title later. But like you said, Jericho was going to retain, and he retained. He definitely did retain. The AEW Tag Team Championship match, that triple threat with Private Party versus Lucha Brothers versus the champions SCU. That match right there, that was my second favorite match of the night right there. That tag team match. Private Party, man, god dang. Those guys did some spots, man. They did some spots. Lucha Bros did some spots. And SCU was just fantastic. All three teams were fantastic. There's no way you can deny the star power and everything in the ring right there with these three tag teams. You just can't ignore it. Private Party had some crazy spots there. I enjoyed that. And I was hoping Private Party would win those tag titles. But again, like we talked about last week, pretty much everyone retain their titles because this is a new company. So SCU, I was glad to see SCU retain the tag titles.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, SCU's my second favorite tag team in AEW, Private Party being first. Private Party was very impressive in this match. Notably, Mark Quinn, one half of Private Party. That guy's going to be a star in the business. I said it last week on the podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, action was going everywhere at the beginning, you know. Moves after moves after moves, spot after spot. It was insane, man. And, you know, it was not my second favorite like you, but it was a great match. It was. I really enjoyed it. The Lucha Brothers are another great tag team. AEW has a great tag team roster.
Yes.
As well. You know, I really enjoy it. I enjoyed the match. I'm glad SCU retained. I want to see them run with them for a little while. They deserve it. All three members are great. Mm-hmm. Speaking of that, Christopher Daniels returned.
Yeah, that was a surprise right there. When that third Lucha Bro showed up in the ring, you're kind of wondering who the heck is this guy? There's a third Lucha Bro. No, it was Christopher Daniels. I was glad to see him come back because Lucha Bros took out Christopher Daniels because it was Frankie Kazarian and Christopher Daniels, and Scorpio Sky had to fill in that night. And it just that's the thing when you have a trio on a tag team, because you can interchange people in and out. You know, if it happened to be Frankie Kazarian, then it would have been you know, Christopher Daniel and Scorpio Sky, or you know, vice versa. You know, just flipping them around, and it turned out great though. But I'm glad he came back, and it looks like the Lucha Bros and SCU are not done. They don't look like they're done.
No.
Nope. So.
No. There'll be more of them. Feuding in the future. But I'm glad to see Christopher Daniels back, Fallen Angel.
I am too. You hear the crowd chanting Fallen Angel?
Yeah, very, very key part of that tag team.
Mm-hmm.
Glad to see that. Glad to see him back.
Definitely glad to see him come back. What else we had on this card? Any other match here that jumped out at you? I mean, there's one.
My second favorite match was the opener, Santana and Ortiz versus the Young Bucks. I thought that tag team match was insane, and I thought it was great.
It was.
The Rock and Roll Express coming in afterwards, and Ricky Morton hitting a suicide dive and a Canadian destroyer. I mean, How can you top that? I mean, that was insane. And I love the emotion in the match. It was a good tag team match.
Yeah.
It was a lot of high spots, sure, but I thought it was a great match. They told a really good story with Santana and Ortiz really controlling the match at times.
Mm-hmm.
I put this match as the second best one. I mean, I really enjoyed it. It was great.
Yeah.
Really enjoyed the ending as well.
Yeah, that right there, when I think of that match there, I think of the Rock and Roll Express doing what they did, the Canadian Destroyer and the Suicide Dive. you wouldn't have thought, a legend, tag team, veterans, legends like that. Actually, they're veterans, but they're tag team legends can do something like that. That was great. That was a great opening match. It was a great tag team opening match. And I enjoyed it. There were some really great spots on that match right there. But the Rock and Roll Express, god dang. Canadian Destroyer, Suicide Dive at that age. That was just fantastic. That was fantastic. That's what I will remember from that match right there afterwards. Of course, yeah, the Bucks didn't win. And Santana and Ortiz beat the Bucks, but you're going to remember the Rock and Roll Express getting out there as the legends that they are and just performing and doing that to Ortiz and Santana. Another.
Helps.
What's that?
That helps the AEW brand having the Rock and Roll Express, give them that exposure, and it just helps them all around. The Rock and Roll Express has been around everywhere.
Yeah.
So having them on there really helps. So, but the three matches we've talked about so far, that's the three that stick out to me. That's the three that stick out to me more than any of the other show.
Me too.
I really after the Lights Out match, I really didn't care about a lot of them because that match right there, I didn't think the guys was going to get up.
Mm-hmm.
It was insane.
It was
insane.
It was insane.
I can't really put it into words, which I did earlier in the show tonight. But I mean, I was in awe after the match. Especially the Phoenix Splash onto the exposed wood.
Jeez, I know. That did it right there for me. That he bit the dust, man.
I was like, that's got to be the end of the match.
Yeah.
I mean,
same here.
I was like, please don't do no more. I mean,
yeah, please.
Really, really bad hurt. Please, let's just do the end.
Yeah, you're pretty much like.
No!
Great.
I mean, but yeah, but the whole pay-per-view as a whole was great.
Mm-hmm.
The last two matches were definitely the best ones.
Yes.
Yeah, it was a really good show. Really good show.
It was. Scale 1 to 5, what would you put as? Would you put AEW Full Gear?
1 to 5, I'd say 4 out of 5. Because some of the matches I really get emotionally invested in. I'd say 4 out of 5. And I didn't watch the buy-in because I watched the show on Sunday as it aired live. But I didn't watch the buy-in. But I give the main show, 4 out of 5 stars.
Okay. 4 out of 5 stars. That I give it a 4 out of 5 right there. Great match. Definitely a great match right there. Now, I'm going to throw this up right up here on the screen as we talk about Raw, NXT, and AEW this week. If you have any thoughts on what you thought was better, AEW or NXT. I'm going to go ahead and open up the lines here, the phone lines. I want to hear some comments on that. Chris Sterling, shout out to him. One time I had a dream that Chris Rose was the man, and I woke up and I was still dreaming, I guess, because Chris Rose is the man. So, there you go. What do you say about that, Chris Rose?
You know, Chris Sterling is my boy. Chris Coalition, all the way, baby. That's our team name. Chris Sterling is the KZW United States champion, and a hell of a champion at that. One of the best champions in KZW right now. I put him above Cousin Frank, who is the heavyweight champion. I believe Sterling outshines him in every way possible.
Right.
Yeah, shout out to Sterling. Love you, brother. I'll see you Saturday.
All right. Let's open up the phone lines. What do you say?
Yeah, let's see if anybody will call in and talk to us.
Yeah,
Everett Lee.
Everett Lee and Chris Rose. Let's see. Where is that number? There we go, right there. 386-206-1595. Let us know what you thought about AEW or NXT this week, or AEW Full Gear. Or let's address the elephant in the room. Did you see who showed up on a WWE program on Tuesday night?
Man, I thought he was going to be on the other show earlier this year, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm glad he's back. A lot of people don't think he's back home, but I sure do. The way he was acting, the way he came out. CM Punk
That's
is
right.
on WWE Backstage on Fox, FS1, Tuesday nights. Wow, is all I got to say. I was speechless. I didn't watch the show. I woke up the next morning and saw it. And I told my girlfriend, she goes, "Oh, that's not real. That's a hoax." I go, "No, WWE posted it. WWE's Instagram posted it." I was in shock. Hopefully he's in some sort of match in some sort of capacity in the near future. But for right now, I'm glad to see him back in the saddle again in WWE.
Yes.
It's really great, man.
It is. It is. He's working for Fox. A lot of people said he's back at WWE. He's doing WWE. No, he's doing Fox. He's doing he's working for Fox, and Fox has him doing this show, which is WWE Backstage. So basically, Fox is paying him to talk about WWE on a WWE program, which Fox owns. Correct? Right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a property.
He's technically working for Fox, but WWE will snatch him up real soon.
Of course.
Sooner rather than later.
Mm-hmm. Of course. Something's going to happen. It's going to lead into something else. If it does, I'm happy, but if it don't, then everyone can keep dreaming. Everyone can keep dreaming. But he broke the internet this week. Did he not? He broke the internet. He broke it.
He did.
He did.
Hey, everybody, current wrestlers, is going all out on Twitter over CM Punk. Seth Rollins, hell, he challenged him to a match. The Fiend, Bray Wyatt, challenged him to a match very cryptically. He didn't challenge him like Rollins did, but the Fiend, Bray Wyatt, clearly did.
Yeah.
I'm excited for it. I'm excited in the near future to see CM Punk back in WWE. It will happen. I saw it in his eye when he walked out to Cult of Personality on WWE Backstage. I saw him genuinely happy again. He took a much-needed break from the business. He did his thing in the UFC. It may have not worked out like he wanted it to, but hell, he tried something new as long as he was happy.
Right.
He did Girl on the Third Floor, the movie. He did all the stuff he loved, and now he's back to where all the fans and everybody else wants him to be. Kudos to him. I'm excited for the near future for CM Punk, and he's got a new listener for WWE Backstage and me. I haven't watched the episode, but I will now.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I would have to say a lot of people were excited about that, seeing him on there, because if you really do think about it, Fox is smart about this. Okay, the ratings they weren't great. The ratings were not great, and they reported last week, not this past week, but last week, the ratings were really, really low. And what are you going to do? You need people. You need to get people interested. And it was reported back a while back ago, just a rumor that, and he denied it, about working with Fox doing WWE Backstage or the unnamed WWE show. He denied it. He did. He didn't really say anything about it. I think at one point he kind of said he did. I know at StarCast, I believe Cody and them at AEW figured he would join them, but he didn't. He used that as a platform to get out there and kind of test the waters, let people know how he was. Told us a few great stories, which I thought was great. But then with him just coming back on, coming to a WWE show, talking about wrestling, it's great. So Fox knew what they were doing. Let's get him back on. People's going to want to watch, but he's not going to be on there every single week. He's going to be on there, throughout. So people will jump on to see if CM Punk will be on there, but he'll be on there next week. So the ratings for that show is going to jump next week for the fact that CM Punk is back. It definitely will. It definitely will. Speaking of ratings, I'd have to say one show this week did not sit well with me, and a lot of people it didn't sit well with. Monday Night Raw. What it was just, it just was.
We about to get stupid.
I felt when I'm watching it, I just was like,
Hold on.
I just it just got me, man. And you had to feel like this when you watch Raw this week.
But you know and I know that you are only half the man that I am, and I have half the brain that you do.
I mean, Chris, I had about of a
33 and a third chance
of falling asleep watching this program on Monday. Someone someone push me off a cliff, throw me out in traffic, because this is what I felt. That's what I felt. The show did not do nothing for me. It did nothing for me. And before I get really into it, just the opening match with Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair versus the Kabuki Warriors. Why does Becky need another title? Okay. I mean, Becky 2 belts, great, but come on. Just opening match, and then everything that happened just got me right there. Shayna Baszler coming out. Okay. And Bayley shows up. Wait. Bayley? She's on SmackDown. Okay, is she invading? She's invading Raw. Okay, she's going after Shayna Baszler. Okay. And then the Kabuki Warriors take a fast pin because of distraction. Then Becky goes out there and tries to go after Shayna, and then she gets jumped by Bayley. I'm like, okay, SmackDown's actually going after Raw now. It's not two brands going after one. It's not NXT versus two brands. Okay, this is great. Finally, they're doing something like that. What the hell, Chris?
I didn't think Becky and Charlotte was going to win the tag team championship. I thought my prediction was Baszler and her two buddies was going to come out, but it was just Baszler. Yeah, and I mean, the same thing, you know.
Yeah.
Bayley came out, and then Becky and Bayley fought. There's a little history there with them two. I wasn't really into it. I really wasn't into the match because I knew that Charlotte and Becky wasn't going to win the tag team championships.
Of course,
you could tell that Charlotte and Becky had some tension in the match because they have a long history.
Exactly.
And, Becky's the reason she's the superstar right now is because of Charlotte.
Mm-hmm.
The match at SummerSlam started Becky's, career. Becky's one of the hottest properties in WWE right now.
She is.
Becky doesn't need a championship, as you said. Becky doesn't need that. Becky's going to be the Raw Women's Champion for quite a while in the near future. And I'll go as far as to say Becky will win the triple threat match at Survivor Series. But,
you think? But here's the thing. Here's the thing, Chris. Okay, Becky's gonna win. That's who you pick. Okay, who's gonna take the pinfall?
I'd say Bayley will take the pinfall. That's kind of hard to predict. I mean, it could be either or, but I mean, I'd say Becky will win that match. Or if they want to get Shayna Baszler over like she already is, I'd have Baszler beat the two main roster champions. I mean,
yeah.
But I'd say Becky, with how popular Becky is, I'd say she'll win the triple threat match at Survivor Series. But that's another show for another time.
Yes.
I'm sure we'll do a prediction show for that. But yeah, this whole little first segment, it wasn't the worst thing on the show by far, as we'll get into it.
Oh, no.
But yeah, it is on the first segment. It was to set up the angle with three champions fighting after the match. So.
Yeah. Yeah, that right there, it killed me, man. Let's get right. We'll not get right into it yet, though. But okay, Seth Rollins coming out and challenging the United Kingdom's best, and that person that came out answered the call was Walter. Imperium comes out. I was like, hell yeah! I watch NXT, Chris. I watch NXT UK. I watch it at night. I watch the replays right before I go to sleep at night. I lay back, and I turn on WWE Network, and I watch NXT UK. And that's how I keep up with it. That's how I keep up with NXT UK. I watch a replay at night because they replay it by the time I go to sleep. So I sit there and I watch it. And I'll watch it, and I'll get through it, and I'll, fall asleep afterwards. But I watch it, and Imperium is a dominant force in NXT UK. Walter is a beast, man. That guy is just huge, and he's just great talent. and him coming out there. I did not like the fact that Seth Rollins said, "Yeah, you come out here with your little belt behind, around your waist there. What you come up here? Little belt around your waist, Rollins. You ain't gonna burn that down.
Yeah.
You're not gonna burn Walter down."
Yeah, I mean, Rollins was just trying to, he came out and did a promo about claiming this was his show, Monday Night Raw. And the gist of that is just, it's Survivor Series coming up. It's NXT versus SmackDown versus Raw, and Rollins was just calling it a little championship because he has the main championship. And
he did.
He used to have. And he's on the main show.
Yeah.
And, he was just trying to get to their heads. I am a fan of Imperium, but I do not watch the UK show, but I do keep up with them, if that makes sense. I don't watch all of the UK stuff. I watch whatever's on Facebook. There's just so much wrestling out there to watch.
There is.
It's hard to keep up with Walter. I am a big fan of Walter, like you said. And when he accepted the challenge, I was really hoping for a back-and-forth battle because Rollins has a lot of talent, of course. Walter, awesome. That would have been a great match. But as the match went on, with the way Imperium body language on the floor, as I was watching the match, I was like, yeah, they're going to set up something else, or it's just going to be them beating down Rollins. But it turned into an 8-man tag. Kevin Owens coming out to a big reaction. They went from chanting Walter to Kevin Owens just like that.
Yeah, they did.
I mean, it was insane. You had, it was. I thought the 8-man tag was the best match of the night.
Yeah.
I thought that was. I thought that was really good.
You thought it was better than Orton and Ricochet and Humberto versus the OC?
Yeah, I thought it was better than that.
Okay. Yeah.
I really liked that tag match. Montez Ford, man, he did that dive over the top rope, and I thought he was just going to go right through the announce table. It was
insane. Yeah, insane. It definitely was.
And saying that people can do a Phoenix Splash, a 450 Splash, a fucking any high flying move, but the stunner is over more than any of them.
Yeah.
Simple stunner. When Kevin Owens delivered the stunner, the crowd went insane.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
I really enjoyed the 8-man tag match. I was really bummed that we didn't get to see Rollins and Walter, but I'm sure Vince will save that money match for another time.
Yeah, down the line.
Yeah. Walter hit a missile drop kick on Rollins, and I thought he killed him. Did you remember seeing it?
Yeah, I think everyone did. I thought he did too. The way he hit it is like he killed Rollins.
Yeah, that was freaking insane, man. And Rollins hit an impressive superplex too on Walter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was a pretty good match. Rollins, of course, with the curb stomp. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, one of the very few high points of Raw Monday.
Yeah. Yeah, I like the UK talent should have got over because they were in the UK. I did like how Walter told Rollins, it's Survivor Series, it's Raw versus SmackDown versus NXT. Well, you're in an NXT ring right now. He tells them, he's like we're still in it. We're NXT. So get out of that ring there, little man. I loved it. Walter's just great, and he just they should have, the UK talent should have went over. They should have went over. That was my only problem there, especially with the tag team with the Flash Morgan Webster, and that right there, they should have went over. They should have went over, and because they should have put the UK talent over.
I thought the Viking Raiders were gonna run through them, and that's what happened.
I know. I'm like, really? Oh God!
I was wanting to see an actual match. I don't really know a lot about Mark Andrews and the other dude,
Flash Morgan Webster.
I mean,
they're great. They're great.
I've seen them in matches before on the big UK shows on the network.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah.
The Viking, there was like 4 or 5 enhancement matches on the show.
Yeah.
You had Eric Rowan in one, Drew McIntyre. Why is he in enhancement matches?
Yeah.
Drew McIntyre should be in the title picture. That's where he belongs. He's not. Sin Cara was in a few Andrade. They completely dropped that. The Catalina or Carolina, whatever her name is back on NXT without the match.
Yeah.
They completely dropped that angle altogether. And Andrade was in. There was 5 enhancement matches because him and Cedric Alexander was going to have a. It started off as a decent match, but Andrade ended up beating him in like 5 minutes.
I know.
There was too many enhancement matches on the show. Lana came out there and cut a terrible promo.
Yeah.
Cut a promo or shit. That whole angle is just, I don't know what to say about that. Saying she was pregnant and then not pregnant. And but Rusev, man, he's highly over. Rusev's highly over with the crowd.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, who doesn't like an asshole girl? I mean, all your guy friends, and you got this crazy ex-girlfriend who cheated on you. All the guy friends will get behind you, of course. And that's how I feel about Rusev and the Lana story. But Rusev, man, he's going to be big money in the near future if he keeps this up.
Yeah.
I mean, look what happened with him with Rusev Day stuff. Rusev Day was over. I mean, I don't buy a lot of WWE shirts, but I bought the Rusev Day shirt.
Oh, did you?
I liked it. I like that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't buy a lot of merchandise. I mostly wear the Chris Rose shirts about every day.
Mm-hmm.
But I bought that one.
Yeah.
And Raw for me this week was
it was garbage.
You know, it is what it is. It was garbage. I mean, I've seen it before. But this one right here is probably one of the worst Raws of the year. And Randy Orton turning full-on babyface out of nowhere was weird, too. The 6-man tag at the end. I thought that the NXT guys should have invaded and had a 6-man tag with the OC rather than these guys.
Yeah.
I think Eric could have picked up on that opportunity with everything that happened on NXT. I thought that they could have had a 6-man tag or something. But,
you figured.
I don't know about Raw this week, man. Wasn't the best. 2 out of 10 for me. I would have gave it 1 out of 10, but I like the 8-man tag team match. Everything else I really wasn't interested in. I was in awe of how bad the show was.
Like you said, you nailed it right there. Enhancement matches. Too many enhancement matches. Drew McIntyre, someone with his star power, should have been wrestling a superstar, not an enhancement. Same thing with the other talent that was in enhancement matches. The UK NXT UK people should have been put over because that would have put more people on buying the network who don't have the network and checking out more of the NXT UK talent right there. But did they do that? No. Did they do anything type of invasion thing? The only thing they did was Shayna Baszler, Bayley, and Becky. That's it. That's the only thing. To me, the invasion angle has fallen flat. They started out with NXT versus Raw SmackDown, and it's supposed to be everyone for themselves. We've not seen that. About the only thing that was great about this was the fact that when it started out on that mishap on that Friday night, NXT coming in and stealing the show, that was great. Then having the OC show up on NXT, that was great. Them taking out the Undisputed Era, being in the main event, that was great. And it's after that, it's fallen short. It's fallen short. I was laughing actually about what happened at the end of NXT. But before we get to that, Chris, I want to take a moment here. I want to go ahead and cut to a break and mention about some announcements from Podcast City Network and the Everett Lee Show. When we come back, I do want to talk about this week with NXT and AEW. AEW after the fallout of Full Gear. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we will discuss NXT and AEW. So, stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. Stay tuned.
The following support and sponsor Podcast City Network. City Limits Tap Room, sports bar in DeLand, Florida, has brew on tap, serve food, the grilled cheese is excellent. For upcoming events, check out City Limits Tap Room on Facebook.com/City Limits Tap Room. Morph Tee, a comfortable and lightweight 100% polyester t-shirt with illustrated morph characters that, when worn, will make the illustrations seem to come to life. For more of Tony Rodriguez's work, you can see his full line of apparel at teespring.com. Sports Sanity Customs have worked with organizations from custom embroidering polo shirts to jerseys for your kids' baseball team. They do it all. Armed with state-of-the-art equipment and an in-house design team, they are equipped to take on your next project. Visit their website to learn more, sportsanitycustoms.com. Visit Sports Sanity Customs on Facebook.com/SportsSanityCustoms. 3 Count Design offers a wide range of graphic design products, video, photography and other forms of media. Everything from t-shirt designs to websites. Visit Facebook.com/3CountDesign for more. Demo Blast Studios, an explosion of imagination. Original artwork, podcasts, video, apparel and more. Visit DemoBlastStudios.com. Visit Demoblast Studios on Facebook.com/Demoblast Studios, the best family entertainment pro wrestling show in the state of Kentucky. Kentucky's Own Wrestling brings quality family vintage wrestling to a town near you. Kentucky's Own Wrestling offers a ladies division in wrestling and a training school. Kentucky's Own Wrestling is the current longest running Southern promotion. Visit Facebook.com/Somerset Kentucky's Own Wrestling. All supporters and sponsors are brought to you by Podcast City Network.
Gentlemen, let's broaden our minds.
For more of The Everett Lee Show on social media, follow and like The Everett Lee Show on Facebook, The Everett Lee Show, Twitter, at The Everett_Lee, Instagram, Everett Lee Show. Audio versions of this podcast and previously released podcast can be found on everettleeshow.podbean.com. Stitcher Radio, The Everett Lee Show, give a rating and comment. Apple Podcast, The Everett Lee Show, give a rating and comment. YouTube, The Everett Lee Show, subscribe to the channel. The Everett Lee Show, your shot of entertainment to the head.
You're listening to The Everett Lee Show.
ladies and gentlemen, we're back, and I just want to mention that you can check out more of the program of The Everett Lee Show over on podcastcity.net. Head over to podcastcity.net for latest podcasts such as The Everett Lee Show, Final Score with Chris and Craig, Imaginarium with Scott and Todd, Super Radio Brothers, and Deathmatch Wrestle Podcast and Wrestle Popcast, Best Friend Show Podcast, and much, much more over on podcastcity.net. Hit them up on Facebook, Podcast City Network, and on Twitter at Podcast City Net. Subscribe right there on YouTube, Podcast City Network, and on their Twitch channel, Podcast City Network. And, of course, Everett Lee. You can check more audio portions of the Everett Lee Show right there on everettleeshow.podbeam.com. And subscribe to Everett Lee Show on iTunes. Give a rating and a review. And Stitcher Radio, give a rating and review as well. And you can follow more Everett Lee on social media right there. Facebook, Everett Lee Show. On Twitter, at the Everett _Lee. Instagram, Everett Lee Show, and audio portions, again, on YouTube right there, Everett Lee Show. And much, much more to discuss with the Slammin' Thursday edition of the Everett Lee Show with Everett Lee and the Chris Rose. And I do want to mention, while Chris is out before he comes back, that coming this week, or not this week, next week, I have an announcement that next week on the program, on Wednesday night, November 20th at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, original Glow wrestler, Sunny California girl, Patricia Summerlin, will be on the Everett Lee Show. So stay tuned for that right there. And the night before that, on Tuesday, November 19th at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, wrestler, the American Giant. J.J. McGuire talked about him this past Wednesday. I brought it up, and let's see if I can get anything out of the American Giant with him working with Mr. Hurricane J.J. McGuire. Gonna find out what I can from the American Giant and much, much more on the Everett Lee Show next week right there. November 19th, wrestler the American Giant, and on Wednesday, original Glow wrestler Sunny the California girl, Patricia Summerlin, will be on the podcast. So tune in for both of those right there on the Everett Lee Show podcast. Waiting for the Chris Rose to come back, and when he does, we'll finish up one other thing that he wanted to discuss there while we were briefly talking on...
I'm back, bud.
Oh, you are? You're back. What was it you were wanting to discuss or mention before we get off the topic of Raw?
Brock Lesnar and Rey Mysterio was not on the show.
Of course. You think Lesnar's going to fly over to the UK because he's basically going to be like this, Chris?
What, Rey Mysterio?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
I know. Well, this is Brock Lesnar when they're like, hey, we want you to go to UK for Raw. This is Brock Lesnar.
Show me the money! Show me the money!
That's why.
Yeah, you know who was on Raw? Drew McIntyre, Seth Rollins. Those two guys should be going after the championship if the other guys ain't going to make it. It just made the show look weak.
Of course.
It just did.
Of course.
Made the show look really weak. I just wanted to point that out there. We can move on to NXT whenever you like, buddy.
Yes, NXT. Okay. that opening match with the NXT Cruiserweight Championship. Okay. It is funny because the information I got from this right here that says the NXT they call it the NXT Championship. I think that's funny right there. I thought that was funny how they called that the NXT Championship, not the NXT Cruiserweight Championship. I thought that was funny. What do you think about that?
Oh, I didn't catch that. Do they call it the NXT Championship?
No, off this site I got the information for the matches because I was jotting down notes on the matches because I was like trying to remember, and I was looking at it and I was laughing because they put NXT Championship. It's NXT Cruiserweight Championship. So they need to get their facts straight. And the call just dropped. What is happening with my internet? What the hell's happening? My video is not even working now. Let me go ahead and try to get... There he is.
Call from.
I don't know why I dropped your call there, Chris.
Happens, man. Happened to us before. But this match was phenomenal. Leo Rush, Angel Garza. It was a pretty good opening match. Leo Rush has always been a phenomenal performer. Angel Garza's got a good look. He has a tremendous look. $1 million smile. Vince loves those $1 million smiles.
Yeah.
Angel Garza has a good way connecting with the crowd. Hit a fall-away slam backflip off the top rope. Very dangerous move, but looked really safe. Went for the wing clipper off the second rope. Leo Rush countered, hit the frog splash. Then Leo Rush hit another frog splash to ultimately retain the championship. But it was controversial.
Yeah.
His foot was clearly on the rope. Leo Rush just kind of came back as a babyface, but I think this is turning him slowly into the heel. I think they will have a rematch at War Games for the championship.
Mm-hmm.
This is not the last match we have. And, man, A++ match. Really enjoyed it. Those two guys pulled out all the stops. Yeah, really good match.
Yeah, it was good. It was a great opening match. Great way to start the program for the night because you kind of knew where this was going to go right here with the match. I mean, even I like Finn Balor coming out there and cutting a promo, and then out of nowhere, I didn't expect it. You got Bro coming out. Matt Riddle coming out there and just jumping him. That was something, man. Was that not?
Yeah, I really like the Finn Balor we have now. He's much better as that asshole heel. Just downing NXT. Like, ever since I've left, you've had guys that can't get the job done, like Johnny Gargano, and I really enjoy that. It's different.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got getting ready to talk about Matt Riddle, and all of a sudden Matt Riddle attacks him.
Yep.
They brawl on the outside a little, and then all of a sudden here comes the Undisputed Era. Wrong place, wrong time, they said, and then they try to attack him. And then here comes Keith Lee and Tommaso Ciampa. Just chaos all around. NXT has been keeping the show pretty consistent here lately with that.
Yeah, they have. They have.
I did find weird that Now, besides the consistency part I was saying, they didn't have any Raw or SmackDown like they did last week, which was kind of weird, but NXT puts on a really good show.
Yeah.
They're going to do the invasion angle, but then again, they got their own pay-per-view that weekend.
Yeah.
War games to worry about, too. They're going to have to work both.
Double.
And that's kind of, I'd say if you're in management, that'd be hard to process because that's a first-time ever kind of thing. So, but I really enjoy this. I'm glad they gave Keith Lee the mic this week.
Yes.
He has a strong without the microphone, but with it, it was really good. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, I enjoyed that, man. I like how Roderick, him and Roderick Strong were going back and forth because he was wanting a piece of Adam Cole, and then Roderick started jumping in there and stuff. The crowd wanted to see Adam Cole and Keith Lee, but the crowd accepted. Yeah, okay, Roderick Strong. He's like, you want to step up? Come on, I'm ready. I'm ready to whip. He was ready to whip someone's ass. Keith Lee was, and that was a great match. Roderick Strong and Keith Lee put on a really great match. I would have liked to seen it for the title for the North American Championship, but just all in all, just the match. Just what'd you think of that? That superplex off the top rope Roderick did to Keith. Damn.
I really love it when the smaller guy does it to the big guy. Like I was saying earlier with Rollins doing it to Walter. It looks damn impressive.
Yeah.
Lee and Strong, all stops. Roderick Strong has good matches with the big guys. We saw it in the triple threat match weeks ago with Dominic Dijakovic, Keith Lee, and Strong. Strong is impressive with the big guys. Really good match. Really enjoyed it. Keith Lee with his impressive jackhammer-style finisher. Yeah. He won, but I'm glad it wasn't for the title. With all the respect to your opinion, Everett Lee, I'm glad the Undisputed have all the gold. It's that's the best group on Raw, SmackDown, NXT. I really enjoy the Undisputed Era. They have a great leader in Adam Cole. Adam Cole's been the leader of the Bullet Club in the past. He's obviously a leader, good leadership skills in the business.
Yes.
I really enjoyed the match, though. Keith Lee can work with big guys and small guys because he has that move set and the ability to do so. Yeah, A++ match again there. Really enjoyed it.
Yeah, really, really great. But even afterwards, you got you mentioned Dominic David. How do you say his last name? Because I'm still wanting to call him by his what he originally went by, in ROH.
Yeah, it's Dominic Dijakovic.
Yeah, Dominic comes out, and now he's part of Team Tomaska, going up against Undisputed Era in War Games now. And will Velveteen Dream come back and join that team too? We don't know, because he's been out of action there for a while. So that's going to be interesting right there to see what happens with that right there. Pete Dunne, Killian Dane, that never even happened. That was supposed to happen, and it didn't happen. I want to point that out there, because that looks like it's going to escalate into War Games. What do you think?
Yeah, I'd say we'll see a triple threat match at War Games with Killian Dane, Damian Saint, and Pete Dunne.
Yes.
I think that'll be a triple threat match at War Games with those three guys. Killian Dane came out. Damian Saint obviously pissed off about last week.
Yeah.
With Killian attacking both of them. He attacks him in the entrance. He wants some of Pete Dunne. They brawl. Killian Dane back in the fold. Complete chaos yet again. Yeah, triple threat match at War Games, of course, it's going to happen. I really like Damian Saint. He has a good look. good move set. Really enjoy watching him. He's really new right now, but what I saw from him, he's great.
Mm-hmm.
Killian Dane's very agile for a guy his size. He has a lot to offer. Pete Dunne's obviously great, the longest reigning UK champion.
Yes.
For a very, very long time, and he can go as well. I'm looking forward to this feud in the near future and see where it goes.
Yeah.
I really like this. I really liked it.
I would have to say that all the members of Sanity has went off and done really well for themselves on their own, minus Eric Young. Look, Killian Dane comes back to NXT, and he's an unstoppable force. Alexander Wolf heads over to NXT UK. He's part of another dominant faction, Imperium. He's part of that. Nikki Cross, look at her, man. She tasted gold up, on Raw, being with Alexa Bliss being the women's tag team champion. And then Eric Young just popping up here and there and not really doing much, being in a match here and there.
Yeah.
It just...
Eric Young was the guy who started Sanity.
Yeah.
And you see what's happened with him now.
Nothing.
I just don't think WWE is very high on Eric Young. And the only thing I've seen Eric Young do in the past here lately is the 24/7 championship. I think that's where all the talent go that doesn't have a storyline. They just run around chasing a green championship.
Yep.
And that's just where he is right now. I mean, and whenever they give somebody a story, they'll pull them out, running laps around whatever building the show's at, and they'll put them in a storyline.
Yeah.
Cedric Alexander was one of the guys. He was in the 24/7 championship for a long time, and they pulled him out of running laps, and he's been doing pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, they pull him from the track team and pull him to something good. But
track team, I gotta play this.
I'll get him out of that bullshit. But Sanity, the split up. The leader is at the bottom of the totem pole, and everybody else is doing pretty good.
Yeah.
Nick Cross, probably notably at number one, with being with Alexa Bliss, getting that exposure on the main roster. And Killian Dane's dominant right now. And, Alexander Wolf is in probably the second most dominant faction in WWE, Imperium.
Yeah. He's a great...
We'll see what happens with these guys.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. We'll see what happens with the rest of these guys. But, yeah, I like to see Eric Young get in there and them do something with him. Instead of, as R-Truth calls it, the 7-Eleven 24/7 European Hardcore Championship. But the main event, we had a ladder match. Io Shirai going up against Mia Yim in a ladder match to secure an advantage in the first ever women's War Game match. Now, Dakota Kai, she was upset that she didn't get picked, but her friend got picked for Rhea Ripley's team. Okay. Now, she said she was going to be there in support, which she did, but during that match, man, they did some crazy stuff with the ladder. What really did it was when Mia Yim, when she came off the top rope there and drop kicked, Io Shirai drop kicked Mia Yim in the face with that when she had the ladder and busted her open, dude. Dude, that was sick. It was like, oh my god, because as soon as she rolled over, and as soon as she was rolling over, and you could see on the mat that it was like drip, 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 drip. It's like, oh no, she busted her open, man. She busted her open. And I have to say, the officials were great. They ran over there. They got the bleeding stopped because that was unplanned right there. That, what would you call, what, a botch. A botch. Nothing.
A botch. Yeah, definitely unplanned. It was a nice looking spot. But yeah, instantly bleeding everywhere. Yeah, crazy action all over the place in this match. I thought it was a pretty good ladder match for a women's match.
Yeah.
I thought it was really good. I thought it was a good match. It was a good main event, It's hard to have no disrespect to women. It's hard to have women close a show, but definitely match of the night.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely was match of the night for NXT right there. Now, Mia Yim, she was the underdog going into this, or towards the end of it. Everyone was wanting her to win this. Dakota Kai inserted herself in the match, no DQ, to make sure Mia Yim would win. However, that was all diverted from the surprise interference from the NXT UK Women's Champion showing up and inserting herself, and her and Bianca Belair helping Io Shirai capture the advantage in the War Games match. But I'll tell you what, when the NXT UK Women's Champion showed up, Ryla, Ray showing up and pushing Mia Yim off the ladder, and she fell and snapped that ladder in half. Dude, she had to be hurt, man. She had to be hurting.
She had it bad in this match. That was another bump right there that, it looked vicious. It looked vicious, the whole landing, how she bounced off the ladder.
Yeah.
It looked like she was hurt. If not, that was some damn good selling.
Yeah.
M's going to be a really good addition to the NXT roster. Already is an addition, obviously, but a really great star in the future. She has all the tools to do it. I mean, great show, great match.
Yep. Kylie Ray, showing up and making sure. Shayna Baszler comes out all cheering. It's like, okay, is this Shayna's team going in right now with her? Is it going to be? And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, she gets a chair shot to the back by Bayley. And then she gets chased off by Bianca Belair and Riley Ray. Chase her off, and the show ends. That's it. What I realized, talking about invasion angle, and you brought this up, they're pulling double duty this weekend, or this coming weekend, or when Survivor Series is. Yeah, Saturday night you got War Games, NXT War Games, and then you got NXT Talent Wrestling in Survivor Series. So how are you going to juggle both of these? You're going to promote the pay-per-view, okay? And we lost him again. We lost the Chris Rose again. So let's go ahead and call him back. Let's go ahead and call him back here. Once more. Let's go ahead and call him back.
Lost you again.
I know. I don't know what's happening now. What's that? Are you there?
I don't know. Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Yeah, I have the number you're on. I have it connected to my phone. So Okay. All right, we're good now. But yeah, sorry about that. But I feel that they've taken the invasion angle and they put it on. They've taken the invasion angle and they put it on the women to take care of it, and they put promoting war games on everybody else. That's how I feel they've done this right here. And yeah, they're going to be pulling double duty. They definitely are going to be pulling double duty. But it's nothing like this past week's AEW after Full Gear. What stuck out to you this week for AEW?
Well, the Nashville crowd was really hot right off the bat. You had John Moxley come out there, put a beating on Nakazawa.
Yes.
Very, very quick. Moxley, paradigm shift, 1, 2, 3. Cuts a pretty good promo. Issues a challenge to anybody on the roster. And as we talk about it through the show, we know who that will be.
Yes.
But, I want to get to the Dark Order versus Jurassic Express. This is one of the bad things on the card.
Okay.
Would you agree?
Yes, I definitely agree because I'm not too keen on Dark Order. I'm not too keen on that tag team right there, and I believe the guy in the mask, I forget his name. I guess he must have listened to Cornette a few weeks ago because I'm glad they kind of covered. He changed his look up a little bit. So, but I'm just not too keen on Dark Order. I'm just not.
I like the Jurassic Express minus Marco Stunt.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of Marco. I got to be honest with you. I'm not a big fan of him. There was a lot of mistakes in this match with both teams.
Yes.
The big dude on Dark Order, I don't even know his name. He's not, I mean, he don't stick out to me at all. He did a swanton bomb on Marco Stunt, and then where Marco Stunt is so little, he tried to protect him so much, clearly missed him. And I thought Marco reversed it, but no, he went onto a pinfall on Marco. I mean, you're just going to have to do better right there. With being a new company, you don't want to lose viewers this fast. And I didn't flip the channel because I was taking notes for the podcast, but I'm sure some people probably flipped it to NXT.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, did you see that? He did the swanton and missed him by a mile because Marco Stunt's is so little. You try to protect him, missed him by a mile. But the thing that stuck out in this match was the return of Luchasaurus.
Yes, I am glad.
One of my favorites in AEW.
Yeah. Yeah, this excuse me, this right here, when I think of Jurassic Express, it's Jungle Boy, Luchasaurus. I like them because they got that's what makes this team great. Not Jungle Boy and Marco Stunt. I'm sorry, I'm not too keen on Marco either. I mean, he looks like a child running around in the ring. It does. I'm sorry.
Well, both in the entrance, it looked like Marco Stunt was on Jungle Boy's back, and it looked like two high school kids going down the hallway to the second period. Just like two guys goofing around at the lockers, riding on someone's back. Oh, let's get to second period, brother. I miss Luchasaurus in the fold. And I would probably accept Marco Stunt more with Luchasaurus in the fold, as Marco Stunt being that cheerleader on the outside and not anywhere near the wrestling ring.
Exactly.
But I'm glad to see Luchasaurus back.
I am too.
And at it. Luchasaurus is a really big guy. delivered the big choke slam to Dark Order, moonsault. Stu Grayson, I remember him. Stu Grayson received the choke slam from Luchasaurus, and then the backflip. I mean, that's adding a little mustard to that choke slam finish. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, glad Luchasaurus back out there.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm definitely glad to see him, back out there. Definitely. Darby Allin has a triple threat match against Peter Avalon and Sean Spears, and he beats them both.
Yeah.
I was expecting Sean Spears to win this, but apparently, they're pretty much putting Darby Allin over quite a bit, and yeah. I mean, it was just a triple threat match, and just Darby Allin wins, and then that's pretty much nothing else to say about that. You want to add anything on that?
Darby Allin looked great in the match. I mean, I pretty much predicted him to win when I saw him come out. Because Darby Allin is really connecting with the fans.
Yeah.
People pretty much enjoy Darby Allin's skill set. And with him being a little guy as to Marco's stunt, Darby Allin's a much better performer, much better worker. He's believable. There's some stuff in this match that wasn't good, though. Peter Avalon came out and was mid-promo and got cut off. Did you notice that?
Yeah, I noticed that.
Right in the middle of the promo.
Yeah, I know, man. That's messed up.
It was probably a production issue, which AEW has a lot of those. But I think a lot of people look past it because out come Darby Allin and God, fucking Joey Janela looked like a fool coming out there with his looked like the girl from Matilda's haircut. Fucking ass facial expressions. I didn't get that at all. They're obviously continuing the Joey Janela and fucking Sean Spears rivalry. Darby Allin delivers the coffin drop off the top, wins the match, quickly accepts Moxley's challenge.
Yeah.
Man, this is going to be a battle.
Yeah.
I'm really excited for Moxley and Darby Allin next week on Dynamite. That's going to be insane.
Yeah.
I'm ready. That should end the show. That should be the main event.
Yeah, that right there, because, I mean, Darby, he likes pain. He likes getting hurt, and he thrives off of it. And him having a match against Moxley, who just feels no pain, it's going to be great. It definitely should be the main event on the card next week there. Nyla Rose, where the hell's she been? where the hell's Nyla Rose been? I mean,
AEW does a pretty good job at keeping all the talent off the show and just keeping some on there and saving them for when they need them, so you don't get tired of them.
Yeah.
But they don't keep them off for too long, and that's what they've done with Nyla Rose. She hasn't been on since the first show since Riho defeated her for the inaugural Women's Championship.
Yes.
But yeah, Danny Jordan, Nyla Rose, Danny Jordan, some of the fans are familiar with her. I kind of recognize her from Facebook. But Nyla Rose, looked impressive, dominant, goes over, is what it is. One of those matches. I mean, that's what I thought it was going to be. Nyla Rose looking big and strong like she is.
Yeah.
And out of nowhere, Tony Schiavone interviews Allie, and where I didn't. Allie went up in the rankings. Did she have a match on the buy-in or something?
I can't remember. I can't remember.
I haven't seen her have a match. I was really blindsided by that.
Mm-hmm.
Then out come Awesome Kong attacking her, and then Brandy coming out. Yeah, hopefully we get to see the Nyla Rose Awesome Kong match in the near future. Hopefully they set up for that.
Yeah.
What did you think of it?
I thought that was crazy. Them cutting a piece of Allie's hair, and in her, it looks like they're gonna feud there. I don't know what they're gonna be doing though, but maybe Brandy will do something where basically the winner between those two will get a shot at Rio for the AEW Women's Championship. Maybe they're going to set up for that. You know, that's one thing. You don't know if they're going to do that or not.
Yeah, I believe they're going to set up Awesome Kong in the near future for a championship match.
Mm-hmm.
And when Awesome Kong, hopefully Nyla Rose will be coming around her corner, and we'll have that match.
Yeah. Yeah, hopefully that will happen there. I like to see that. Nyla Rose and Awesome Kong throwing that women's championship in there. Throw that in there. Make it worthwhile there. Make it worthwhile right there, because if they do that and whoever wins that title, they're going to be the dominant force in NXT. No, in AEW, they're going to be dominant force in AEW and the women's division there. And I have a feeling that they will get Awesome Kong is going to get that title because she has Brandy behind her, and yeah, she's definitely, that's what's going to happen in the future. That's going to be your future AEW Women's Champion right there, Awesome Kong, and Nyla Rose, and having a match with Awesome Kong and having that belt. There you go, right there. It's gold, baby. It's gold. Pac defeats Adam Page in submission.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he defeats him. He defeats him. I mean, Hangman beat Pac at Full Gear, so Pac gets the win, gets his gets his revenge, or whatever you want to say. And I like Pac. I like Hangman. I like both these guys, and I love seeing them both in the ring because they make each other look so great. Do they not?
Yeah, I like this match better than their Full Gear match.
Mm-hmm.
This match had a lot of flows like a roller coaster, up and down, up and down. Pac has good dives to the outside. Hangman delivered an awesome pop-up powerbomb out of nowhere, adding something new to his arsenal.
Yes.
Had a vicious drop kick to the back of Hangman Page's head. It was insane. It was a pinpoint on the money. Pac is on the money with everything he does. Always been a phenomenal performer. I still to this day don't know how WWE dropped the ball on him. And Page has a nice moonsault to the outside, lands on his feet about every time. Great back and forth match. Hangman Page hit a buckshot lariat out of nowhere. I really thought that was going to be the end of the match.
Yeah, I did too.
They had Pac with the Black Arrow, the Brutalizer, taps him out, or passes out. He didn't tap out.
Yeah.
But, yeah, really good match. Best match on the card by far. Really enjoyed it, man. Really enjoyed the match.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I enjoyed the match too. Yeah, I liked it. I did like this one better than the full match they had at Full Gear because, yeah, Page added more to his arsenal, and it just went back and forth there. And the ref actually, he didn't botch this time.
Last week, if he would have delivered the Black Arrow and Blue, whatever his submission is, the Rings of Saturn,
yeah,
the Brutalizer,
mm-hmm.
It would have made more sense if he would have just done the Black Arrow into the submission instead of the ref fucking it up.
Yeah.
It looked a lot better, and it looked more smooth and crisp. Yeah, I really like that. I hope that's how he does it in the near future to everybody. The top rope splash into the Brutalizer. I really enjoyed it.
Exactly. I enjoyed it too. Our main event.
Chris Jericho, MJ.
Yeah.
What about their promo?
Oh yeah. Before we get, they went back and forth. They played so well off of each other, man. They played so well off each other. They did great. MJF came out there and he basically told the Nashville crowd they suck.
Oh yeah, classic heel. He claimed that Cody is a fraud. He's the real villain. MJF calls him the new face of AEW. And then he's like, Chris, I heard you wanted me to be in the inner circle. Then Jericho's like, I heard you wanted to be. They just go back and forth with each other. It was highly, highly entertaining.
It was.
And then Jericho's like, you dress like me. We have the 3-letter nicknames. It's almost like your mom was, thinking of, your mom was having sex with his dad while you're watching Hoovy and Jericho from WCW Saturday Night. I thought that was a big pop.
Yeah.
Really enjoyed that.
That was great.
Really enjoyed it. Google it, baby. Google it. Gosh, it was something else. These two really did play off each other very well. And then you saw MJF hug Jericho. You think MJF's going to join the inner circle, then out comes Cody. Cody's not medically cleared to be in the ring, so security sends him back. And then Cody eventually comes in. They kind of botched the power slam Cody and
MJF.
Jericho kind of.
Or Jericho, yeah.
And Jim Ross tried to save it. It's like, no, he's too hurt to deliver the power slam, but I could clearly see Jericho's face, like, do it again. And he delivered the power slam again to Jericho. Then out come the debut of Wardlore.
Yes,
and,
this guy. Finally.
Future Wardlore and MJ tag team. So,
yeah.
I don't think MJF is going the inner circle.
No.
I think Wardlore and MJF will be a tag team in the near future.
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, ties Cody's tie around him, act like he's going to hang Cody on the ring ropes to end that segment. That segment was the second best part of the show. I normally put Jericho and Cody's stuff above everything else, but the Pac and Hangman Page match was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I really loved all of this right here, Jericho and MJF, Cody. Yeah, it was really good for the Nashville crowd. The Nashville crowd was hot for about everything.
Yeah,
that's what made the show so good. But yeah, this segment right here, I really enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I did too. I enjoyed the segment, and I enjoyed how they went back and forth with each other because the crowd was into it. The crowd was eating it up. I mean, they hated, at that point, they hated MJF and they loved Jericho. And Jericho just being Jericho and MJF being MJF. But yeah, I mean, it was a great segment. I loved it. It was my favorite segment of the night. AEW Tag Team Championships match. You had SCU. They defeated Chris Jericho and Sammy Guevara. This is Chris Jericho's first loss, if you look at it this way, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's his first loss in AEW. And that match is pretty good. What'd you like about that match there?
It was cool to see Frankie Kazarian and Jericho lock up for the first time ever. And, you know, those guys have been in the wrestling business for a long time and have never touched each other.
No.
That was pretty cool to see that lock up. JR, being the professional he is, pointed that out. Really thought that was good. The star of this match was Scorpio Sky.
Yeah.
The springboard arcade he does is insane. That should be his finisher.
Mm-hmm.
The springboard arcade ring. Really good match. Scorpio Sky and Jericho at the end with great counters, great match, going back and forth. Code breaker out of nowhere. But I could tell they was rushing it because of the time.
Yeah.
The time going out. They kind of rushed it, but a great main event for AEW. I really liked AEW more than NXT this week.
Mm-hmm.
And next week we're going to have Private Party versus Santana and Ortiz as well.
Yes.
That will be a great match. Very good tag teams. They announced 2 matches, Moxley versus Allen, of course. That would probably be the main event.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as the main event goes for AEW this week, man, I really enjoyed it. I can't wait to see Scorpio Sky and Jericho in a singles match together. That was really good. I really enjoyed every bit of that. Yeah, really good match. Really good.
It was. I'd have to give it Wednesday night. AEW had story. They have story to where they were building for what's to come next, for their next event, pay-per-view, or whenever that's coming. They're starting to build that now with the characters now. They're moving past Full Gear and they're building towards the next thing now, which is great. NXT fell short to me this week because of the invasion angle, and they're slowly building for War Games, but AEW did it for me this week with story, building to what's next, what's going to happen next, what's next week going to bring. That's how I felt. This week, I give AEW with building story, and of course the Pac and Hangman Page match. I give AEW this week a 5 out of 5 for story. NXT, I give it a 4 out of 5 for the fact that it just, to me, it ended on a weak note.
Yeah, I give NXT 3 out of 5. And AEW, it started off kind of slow, but finished very well. 4 out of 5 for AEW. I wouldn't give it 5 out of 5, but it was 4 out of 5. A lot of stuff happened on AEW. The return of Luchasaurus, the MJF and Chris Jericho promo. The main event was great. The timing was a little off. There was a lot of botches in production, but they're still new, buddy. I mean, they're still new, and they'll fix all of that in the near future. They'll fix every bit of that.
Oh, yeah.
But, yeah, AEW definitely won the Wednesday Night War this week. And I don't remember. I saw the TV ratings. AEW was better. I don't remember the numbers, but AEW outshined NXT this week. Looking forward to see what happens next week with the Wednesday Night Wars. But, yeah, AEW all the way, baby.
Yeah, definitely. AEW, definitely all the way, baby, this week. Definitely this week. And that's pretty much all I have to add and discuss this week. I do want to mention again I did want to mention this again, that next Tuesday on the Everett Lee Show, I'll have none other than the wrestler, the American Giant, will be on the podcast next Tuesday, November 19th at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. I may do it right here on Facebook on the Everett Lee Show. May do it on there. I'm having second thoughts. Also, Sunny, the California Girl, original Glow wrestler, Sunny California Girl, Patricia Summerlin, will be on the Everett Lee Show and the night after, Wednesday night, November 20th at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. So be sure to check both of them out next week, those podcasts. And, of course, you can't forget about the Slammin' Thursday edition of the Everett Lee Show with Everett Lee and the Chris Rose again Thursday night. Next Thursday night, join us right here on the Everett Lee Show Facebook page for Slammin' Thursday with the Everett Lee Show. And as always, Podcast City Network, your top source for independent podcasting. Head over to podcastcity.net for podcast shows and much, much more content. Over on Facebook, follow them, give them a thumbs up around Podcast City Network. On Twitter at Podcast City Net, send them a tweet there. And subscribe to the YouTube channel of Podcast City Network for video portion podcast and much, much more. Head over to this page right here and hit that thumbs up. Everett Lee Show, Facebook, and on Twitter. Send me a tweet over on Twitter at the Everett_Lee, and on Instagram, Everett Lee Show. And audio portions of this podcast and a previous release podcast over on YouTube. Subscribe to the Everett Lee Show YouTube channel. Stitcher Radio, give a rating, a 5-star rating, and a review if you have Stitcher Radio. Same thing with iTunes. Give a 5-star rating and a review right there on iTunes. Subscribe, download both of those for your smartphone and tablets. And, of course, EverettLeeShow.podbeam.com. Head over there and follow that right there. Download the Podbeam app so you can get your fix on Everett Lee Show audio portion podcast. Chris, what do you have coming up this weekend? You mentioned at the top of the program, KZW. What's going on?
Yeah, well, we will be running through Williamsburg, Kentucky at the National Guard Armory at 7:30 p.m. KZW will showcase their talent, and, of course, the Chris Rose outshines all of the talent at KZW, and he will be in action as well. And Sunday, I'll be going to Nicholasville, Kentucky for WCCW. The Chris Rose will be in action there as well. Bell time 6 p.m. in the Lexington area. Got 2 good shows coming up this weekend, man. Really looking forward to it. Looking forward to dominating like always and getting back on track with everything all wrestling. Had fun on the show tonight. Went over a lot. Hopefully Monday Night Raw gets in gear for next week. Really terrible show. I can't stress that enough. But overall, man, I had a good time tonight with you, Everett Lee. As always, buddy. Thank you. And I hope everybody has a good night, and I hope everybody comes out to see the Chris Rose this weekend, baby.
That's right, baby. Go see Chris Rose. And that's it for your Slammin' Thursday edition of the Everett Lee Show. Episode 151 is in the books, ladies and gentlemen. Everyone, have a good night, and thank you for listening and tuning in to the Everett Lee Show. We'll see you next week for another Slammin' Thursday edition.